Good morning to Artist in Recovery / Darrell P. What's going on, dude? Yeah, it's a little after 5 o'clock in the morning. It's about 5 after 5 West Coast time. Still the 31st of March, 2026. You're keeping yourself super healthy. I'm destroying my body and mind. Yeah. I tried to tell you about my family. Sent you some stuff about it. Today I get to see the foot specialist. We're going to see how the wound is and whether or not it needs more cutting. The things we have to do to keep taking care of ourselves, and even if we have to keep exercising ourselves nearly to death, or we don't do anything, we're going to die anyway. Hell, a lot of things we have to do. And the one thing you're not doing right now, I know you're extolling the pleasures and privileges of listening to Bo the Fifth Column trying to educate the masses. And you miss him a great deal because of his folksy attitude. And you're not quite sure about Bella the Fifth Column. Call it Bella the Fifth Column or Bella Ranch. Still, she's trying. She's got her own style. It's just a thought. It's not just a thought. It's things are happening. And dealing with Trump in his mouth and his goonies on the corporate media and the Sunday shows, man. They're trying to tell you one thing and we're getting screwed over with it by another. That's how it is. How the hell am I supposed to be able to deal with that shit? Somebody better tell me about that one. I'm screwing over my blood sugar right now. Oh, God, you gotta be. Bug. I hate bug war. You're lucky you don't deal with the damn invasion like I do all the fucking time. I would need a 24 mate cycle on this damn place to keep it going. But then again, the bugs are so entrenched, it's not even funny. What's even worse is what happened to get into my damn water containers and start floating around. I'm supposed to drink these bastards up? Oh, God. Gets tedious at times. I'm going to be seeing at the podiatrist office today just how the wound's doing for them. I'm getting a second opinion. About a month and a half ago, I was supposed to have it debrided again, but it was still healing up according to wound care, and they got pictures of the thing. Grosser than shit over the past 3 to 4 months when it started out, but now it's still gross. It still grosses me out, but it's healing. It's healing according to wound care. I got discharged from them, so now I got to see whether or not I'm going to get visitation again with them and see if it still needs wrapping. If it doesn't, I have to do the wrapping myself and constantly do it. But I can get supplies for the damn stuff. So what happens when you have to take care of a mortal corpse? Some people can actually take care of themselves in the right way, like you. Other people are just self-destructive, like me. And it's not that I'm hurrying all along just to see what death is like. Been there, done that. And even though people will be looking forward towards it, I'm hoping I don't get kicked out of heaven because that means I got to go to hell or just be a ghost forever. But I have to start thinking about the damn afterlife. It's bad enough I got to start thinking about this life. And everybody else trying to affect it, everything else. This is only a week. Monday was the day that Christ came out, and actually it was Sunday, Palm Sunday, and got hurrayed, got cheered, and also jeered. He noticed the time was coming. It was a Monday. He destroyed the temple's shopping center. Tuesday, I don't know what the hell he was going to be doing. getting the Pharisees being pissed off at him, trying to get Judas to betray him for a little bit of money. But Christ was still trying to tell people in Jerusalem what's the haps. I know a lot of people are just puffing out the chest, putting on the soapbox, underneath their feet, and start declaring and belly aching and everything. And here I am trying to listen to a pastor or two who are trying to tell me otherwise. The pastors that we dealt with on television back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, you remember those? Well, we're young enough to remember something about those days. Where they would tell you gloom and doom, at least some of them anyway, and then think, well, for a handful of money, we can tell you more gloom and doom stories. The world of tomorrow. It's coming. Gloom and doom's coming. Give me more money. Or listen to the megachurches during those days. Oral Roberts University. How to train your brain into one particular form and fashion. How to think in one form or fashion. How to deal with these pop-up universities, Christian universities out there. They want you to think about history in this form and fashion, and life about this form and fashion. And I'm thinking to myself, for a liberal like me, I can't stand that one. That's too conservative for me. I'm going to have to start thinking about political and religion at the same damn time. Are we kidding me? Squeeze me with baking soda? To borrow a line from Wayne's World. Or was it Wayne's World 2? Jerry Falwell. What was it, the Bakers? You had these other religious shows coming on there. You also had Hour of Power. And yeah, they did ask for donations, and only to help their church out. They wanted to build something magnificent. They built the damn Crystal Cathedral out of a lot of donations. And it hosted a lot of things. So, in a way, they got their money's worth out of it. And it's still in operation. Different owner, but it's still in operation. But during the time when it was, the empire was growing. The Robert Schuller Ministries. And trust me, this was one soapbox I was on growing up. Because they were talking about the Bible. And not forcing a certain religious viewpoint down people's throat. They didn't have back then, dude. They didn't have the political ramifications unless you started listening to some of the conservative talk shows. I mean, really listen to these guys. And then the politics coming out of the mouth of the megachurches. She only tried to stay out of it, if I remembered it correctly. He hosted people that went through extraordinary circumstances. One of the hostages that was taken in the embassy, when they got overrun, there was a cleric. And he was telling people what he was going through. There was something to hear about this guy. He talked about a button. He held on to it, praying to God like crazy. But to show devoutness of faith, he had to let go of the button. And then he was rescued. But he told people about his ordeal. I heard stories of faith, not of politics, not of war, not of ugliness. And the thing is, what I kept learning about Hegseth, he was military, according to the stuff that's being pumped out there. I don't know if it's true or not. It didn't say how he won his bronze tars. Tars. Oh, the bronze stars. For some kind of actions or something. Did he lead a platoon? Well, he said he was in a ROTC, and then they got him in an academy, and then he was coming out there. He was Army. West Point, I think, or another academy. Got his commission, but didn't show or talk about any of the battles he went through. It's like stories have been updated in Wikipedia and other places. Even Britannica.com. They're usually pretty good at research, but they didn't say what battles. It looked like the same damn crap. There's no mention about any battles he was in and what he earned the stars for. So it still makes me a little bit leery on this one. That he's conditioned to want war. I thought soldiers didn't want that much. This guy really must have been out of his fucking mind. If Bo was still transmitting, would he have given a lot of thought about Hegseth and his mentality? I mean, it's bad enough we focused on everybody else in the Trump regime, including the old gas bag. He still wants to get more attention than everybody else. It just makes me question about a lot of things, dude. The independents are having a conniption fit. They're saying their numbers are going down by the analytics. You gotta try it sometime. I know you're not getting as much money from Facebook as you said a long time ago, and you were getting a lot of likes and comments from TikTok, but you weren't getting immersed, or actually, you weren't getting money out of them. Facebook you would, but not that much activity. You couldn't figure it out for the life of you. You still can't. Well, now what I'm hearing from the other bigger independence guys out there who are dependent upon their mega millions are dropping down to the thousands. Either by programming, design, or worse. It's even coming to my attention. Maybe should I do something like that? But I don't feel comfortable. But I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the independent guys out there having issues. Because eventually we're all going to have issues, aren't we? And is this being on a soapbox? I do letters to you. Sometimes it's unlisted and other times it's public. Maybe this one's going to be public. Because I talked a lot about my personal stuff out there already. I made public. How to deal with grieving, how to deal with caregiving, how to deal with things you got to deal with. I'm not perfect at anything. I'm not saying that at all. Here I am trying to defend myself of that kind of crap. I know in my life right now I am dealing with a lot of health issues and political issues and wondering if I'm still going to be allowed to go back to college online, let alone on campus physically, to continue and finish. I don't care if I get a graduation ceremony or certificate from college. Is that going to be it for me? I don't know. But the way politics is happening right now, shit. I didn't go out to do no King's Day, transportation-wise, and also worried about my damn house and my dog. She wanders about all the damn time throughout the daytime and getting herself into trouble left and right. And because she's blind, damn near, she gets caught up in certain areas and then she starts whining for help to get out of it because she can't figure it out. It drives me crazy when they do that, It drives me crazy. And trying to deal with her and her situation all the time. I have to have cubby holes around this place, dude. Cut up. Blocked up. So she don't get into areas and get trapped where I can't get to her. which makes good places for other bugs to nest in, including the creepy crawly 8-lickers. I gotta deal with that one. I'm still waiting word when I'm going to get nailed. How long do I got to prepare? And I gotta prepare for it. I've got boxes I gotta get rid of this week. A lot of boxes to get rid of. Empty boxes. I've got a microwave oven that should have been in use. It isn't. I haven't got a place to put it. Or use it. No power for it. At least not an active outlet I can use. All the conveniences I took for granted a long time ago, dude. I no longer. I depend upon a stove for everything. One stovetop. Fix my coffee on it. I'll fix food on it. I'll steam it, boil it, fry it. I miss baking. I miss baking dishes in there. I miss having 4 burners working, you know. I can make a proper spaghetti meal that way. Instead of just one batch. You use one pot for nearly everything. One frying pan for everything. I got a smaller one. I got a larger one. I've also got one that's filled with grease I got to get rid of. Really get rid of. And then I could fry things in it. Or clean it out and have another stuff to be fried up in it. Or toasted. You ever toast things on a frying, on a skillet before? Okay, here's the thing. You ever been camping before? When you're just left with one skillet and you have to cook everything else on it. Or maybe 2 if you're lucky enough. You know, griddle would be nice. And then you get a small skillet to fry up everything. My brother took me camping for a couple of times like that in my lifetime. We learned how to live on a stove at home. We can live on a stove on a campfire. Which means we can do dehydrated coffee. We didn't do the Cabaret coffee though. You know what that was? There's a guy named Cowboy Rollins online on YouTube. This guy is Chuck. This guy knows cooking on the range, and the cowboy terms he uses, and the materials that he uses, the ingredients, either makes you want to throw up or don't throw up. But mostly, it's good stuff that he's got on there. Just some of the stuff you just got to avoid like the plague. But that dealt with survival on the plains, which was something. So, no, but from him I learned about cowboy coffee. He had water boiling, but you also had coffee grinders. Maybe they had a coffee trap, or you just had coffee grounds in the water. And when the water got heated, the water would boil up the coffee, get the flavor extracted out of it. There's a certain way. I think I got that screwed up. I gotta learn that about it. But the coffee is supposed to be going to the bottom of the pot, or a pan if you're using it, and you're supposed to skim off the top of it every time. I miss those things. I don't have a coffee pot like that. I've got dehydrated crystals. I get the water heated enough, and I can use the water for something else. Put about a couple of cups into a traveler's mug, or have it doctored up, and I'm ready to go. I used to use a coffee maker. Coffee maker would do all the work for you, you know. Of course, you got to get the material for it. You got to get the coffee. You got to get the filters. Have to keep changing the filters. and out living on expensive dehydrated time. But if I could do the other stuff, it means I need to get the raw coffee and keep it away from the damn bugs. Have a container that's going to stay in there, and I can use and scoop it out like I used to. And then try to remember how to do the cowboy coffee. And when the coffee is boiling up, the stuff's supposed to float down to the ground, to the bottom of the pan, and I'm supposed to pour off the top of it into the cup. That was the hard part right there. Just give me a damn measuring cup. And do I like crunching on coffee crystals? No, thank you. The things I live by and the things I live through and survive. There used to be a time I looked at life as being life. But I guess maybe through struggling eyes, I guess. There have been times I enjoyed events with my family. Holidays I liked, going out to places I liked, dealing with family gatherings or picnics or stuff like that at home. The things that I was spending with the family, both good and bad, the financial shit we had to struggle through. A lot of stuff, dude. Maybe I'm too much of a fool and idiot. I don't know. But that's what's happening these days. Anyway, I thought I'd keep track with you. So, if I were you, just keep doing what you got to do. Either we're going to lose it by the algorithms or we're not going to be losing it by the algorithms. I don't know what the fuck we're doing anymore these days. Oh, one of these here days you gotta contact me. I'm getting sick and tired of this shit. What? I've been sending shit over to you, and you don't even respond to me on Facebook. You don't even respond to me on YouTube. Boy, what's with you? That being said,